The folks at Hunkydory bring us some delightful things, all of them foiled and some really fun types of cards. Well, this time we've got some charming characters. We have Smudge, we have Mitten, and we have Rascal.
We have star cards, cloud wrap cards, and a wonderful new Hunkydory Color Me option.
Yeah, sound interesting? Come play with us. Well, here's the whole collection. Now, this is an inspiration sheet, but let's get in close to see this Smudge and Mitten. So this is Smudge, cute little patchwork puppy.
He's so cute.
And Mitten is a kitten, and Rascal is a bunny. They're just darling. They're just darling.
They are, and they're all over this artwork, and it's just adorable.
Now, this is the inspiration sheet, and it doesn't give you instructions. Actually, there are instructions on the other side for some different cards, but gives you an idea of just how you might play with the product and do some different cards.
I want to point out that within this artwork, you're not seeing a whole lot of bright colors. It's really kind of muted, and there's a good reason for that, and we'll talk about that when we get to it.
And then on the back, there are instructions for the dream cloud and the star, but we're going to show you that. But before we get to that, I just want to hold this up. Look at that. That's just a honkin' good size of stuff.
That is. Lots of fun time playing in there.
In addition to some envelopes and some gift boxes. So let's go through some of these. As we talked about, there are star cards. Maybe we should show the star card first. Okay, let's do that. So here's the star card. And guess what? It's a star.
It's a star diorama card because you've got these pieces that are layered within here, so that gets your diorama action going. Plus you've got this top piece that's placed up here on some little hinges so that you can sort of pop it up above.
And what I like is because of the weight of the cardstock, the adorable scoreable, it's really very substantial. So there's no flimsiness here. It's really going to work well. Now the star pieces come like this. So they're all die cut for you, and you can see that you get a variety of colors and a variety of the little critters too.
And within each of these sheets, you get all of the pieces you need for the back, the front, those hinges. And then,
those are the hinges, right?
And then the next sheet that you get is what they call the star card decoupage sheet. And this is basically the paper towel that you're going to pop out, and just one sheet.
Just one sheet, no matter how I try to do it.
Covers all of those cards. Each of the 4 images are on there, and you can pop those out and foam tape them on top of each other.
So simple to do. We'll just kind of show you right now just the other parts that are in the collection. So this is, I messed you up, didn't I?
That's okay. I can go right along.
Okay, this is for the cloud.
The cloud wrap card. It's a really unique card. You'll see that in a minute. You can see the different, the artwork. They're really fun. These are they're on skateboards on this one.
Airplanes, bicycles.
These muted colors.
And this is another one where you get the whole card base. And so
everything you need for this card is right within this one sheet. You don't need anything else.
Nice to happen.
Then we get into the die cuts.
And there are in total 321 die cuts. So
lots of die cuts.
Not bad. Lots of options.
On that heavier 300 GSM cardstock.
Just sweet.
Wonderful images, a lot of paper towel images that you can stack on top of each other. Just very fun, lots of different shades. And I see what you mean about the colors being kind of muted. So actually what you can do then is the background papers you can have a lot of fun with. Sure. And there's more than that even. This is a great, something to pay attention, you're going to see this later. We use this sheet, and after we pop this out, we use these circles here as templates for
doing others.
Lines, so that's one to pay attention to.
In fact, I think I'll hold that one out. We can show it when we get to that project. So we've got spaceships, we've got painting.
Oh, and here's the different part.
Yeah, now they're calling it Color Me. Well, they spell it, of course, with a U. It's a little different than Hot Off the Press's Color Me in that it is foiled around the edges, but the rest of it is printed.
Right.
So it is available for you to, guess what? Color in. Right.
So you can use Spectrum Noir pens. The Spectrum Noir blendable pencils would work great on this. Watercolor pencils.
So really any coloring agent, crayons, felt markers, whatever you want.
So when I said that the colors on the other ones are a little bit muted, it's so that you can mix and match very easily. You can actually use Spectrum Noir pens on any of the Hunkydory products if you want to add a little color or punch up something a little bit.
So that was all the die cuts. Did you see how many there were? There were tons and tons. And then we have the adorable scorable. Now, all of these sheets, and there are 20 of them, I'm pretty sure.
So. 21.
21.
Wait a minute. No, those are the die cuts. 20 printed adorable scorable cardstock.
Okay.
And that is the heavier, the 350 GSM
right. Now,
card weight.
These two, you can do some coloring. These do not have foil.
Right.
But as you know, we like to use these as the front of a card, the inside of a card.
Right. There's overall, there's background pieces. You can do some small pieces. So what's interesting is that some of that is just like black and white, so you could color that in and match whatever color you want.
So I should hold this one out too, shouldn't I?
Well, if you like.
Okay, so just lots of options, and because of the dog, cat, and bunny, you can use these for boys, girls, men, women.
Sure.
Notice that little panorama down at the bottom. You could color those in too if you wanted to. We have stars, we have birthday parties, we have driving, we have everything.
Just adorable.
Yes, they really are.
It's adorable cardstock, and it's adorable images, and so that's...
And very different. This is not something that we normally get from Hunkydory, so it's kind of nice to see that and to have those options.
Right. So back to that star diorama card. So very simple to put together. I've got the pieces here to show you. So the front piece looks like this. It's a star within a star. The first thing you do is pop out that center piece, and like so many other shaped cards, etc., with Hunkydory, you can save that for something else.
Ah, nice.
So that doesn't actually go with the card, that goes separate. The piece that goes with it is this piece. And I went ahead and popped out all of the little paper towel decoupage pieces and foam taped them on top. Look, there's a lot of them.
Quite a few.
I know, and it just makes a really interesting look. It's so fun. Now, when you put this one on top of it, you don't actually want it to line up on the edges. You can, but then you wouldn't really see the color of the piece behind it. So you actually offset it like so. So now now you've got all those points sticking out.
Also makes it bigger.
Right. And the way to put that together are with these two small hinges. They're scored, and I went ahead and put ultra tape on the top and bottom of each of them. I'm going to, let's see, first I'm going to show you the way to fold it. You fold it, there's 3 score lines. You're going to valley fold the center with the colored side facing up, not the white side. You're going to valley fold, and then on the 2 tabs, you're going to mountain fold. So it's actually going to connect like this.
So it's going to spring.
Right, it's going to spring like that. You've got that W shape.
Right.
And I'm going to remove the tape covering from the top and the bottom. It's kind of a fun way to do this, an easy way to do this is to go ahead and squish up that spring. And I like to face the colored side toward the inside of the card.
Oh, just in case you peek inside it. That's a nice idea.
And I put it on the top, right,
and it's a good spring.
And just set it down there at the top, just so it's within the points of that spring. It's not going past those points. Then you know it's going to be hidden. And then the other one will go on the bottom.
So just the 2.
Same way, folded and folded like a little spring.
Okay.
Hold them together. And that goes right down close to the bottom. Oops.
Got it.
There we go. Now, they're both going to sit there like so. You can sort of prop those up so that I'm going to bend them back so that they'll both sit sort of like flat, like a tabletop, the 2 tabs. And then you just line this up and place it right on top.
Cute, cute, cute.
Put it just like so.
There you go.
Oh, and that one's moving in. I want to make sure that that's hidden within that window, so I'm going to push that one down.
Just make it do what you want it to do.
Yeah, I'm going to mount that one at a time. I've got my finger on the side of it. I'm pulling it back. I'm lining up the star, and then I'm placing it so that it will be hidden.
Little surgery here.
And then the same with the top. Just kind of hold it back.
Yeah.
There we go.
Very sweet.
And then they all squish down flat.
Now this is just one of the 28 cards you can make in the set. So there you have him or her, and there's the other one. So if you want to add a ribbon like we did, that's great, but that's kind of all you need. And there are little pieces that are foiled that have words and phrases. So
you can just add those on there before you put the top on. You could even put it on the outside afterwards. It's up to you.
In this case, this one is a star fisherman. Very, very sweet. Now, there are going to be 4 of the star diorama cards that you can make. There are also 4 of the cloud cards. Now, look, this is really different.
Isn't that different? It's called a cloud wrap card because it wraps around at the top and the bottom. It doesn't open or shut. It is just finished in just that shape, just like that. And when you get the sheet that has the entire, everything that you need on it, you get this piece. It pops out just like this. It has the panel that was in here. It had the panel that was in here. This is actually the back. And so what I've done is I popped out those 2 panels.
Now before you move that, while you still have that, let's get in close to see what this is. So there's a to and a from. Plenty of room to write a message. Yeah,
it's still got the foil detail even on the back of the card. That's just really sweet.
Very nice.
That's a nice and well, I think it's since you can't get to the inside of the card, that's where you're going to put your message on the back. So once I popped out the 2 die cuts here and here, then I turned it over. And I foam taped those 2 pieces on this panel.
So you didn't remove them, you just folded them in. Gotcha.
No, they do remove.
Oh, they do remove.
They pop out entirely. It's an entirely separate piece that was popped out. And then I foam taped it right along the edge, matching the edges of this window because it's going to be like that. So it doesn't just fold over. And it is foam taped there. And this piece is already scored, so it's ready to fold. And the same with this area here. So you just foam tape that piece in place. Then I'm going to turn it back over to show you that I put Ultra Tape on these tiny little tabs. There's a tab there and a tab up at the top. And they are already scored, ready to mount and fold back like that. I'm going to remove the tape from this side and turn it over. And they say, Hunkydory says at this point to shape the front of this card. Because you want it to sort of bow over, I'm grabbing both of these things with both sides of this piece with my fingers, and I'm sort of sliding them up so I can create a curve. It's going to, you want it to
kind of rub it.
Yeah, I don't want it to just kind of bend and get a fold, so I really want it to curve it. And I'm going to do it a little bit with the top too. Just sort of work my way down and curve it as I go down. Okay, so now that's a curved piece. I'm going to fold this tab back, bring it to the edge of the card front. I don't want to wrap it around to the back, and the reason is then there will be this tab on the back. So I've got the Ultra Tape on this side, I'm folding it under, lining that corner right there.
Cute.
And there you have the cloud wrap front.
That worked nicely.
Right, you do the same thing with this piece. You just remove.
So it has a tab too.
It has a tab also. You just remove the tab, you sort of curl it up, fold that down, and that's going to go right, you can see, right at the end of that little foam taped message that you have there. So that is also curved down, and that card is
almost done.
Finished.
Now you can add some of the other little pieces. This is a happy birthday onto that curve. Got stars. Now the other thing that was done is on the back just added another of the messages, this case in a cloud, hope all your dreams come true. Really sweet. There is no one who would not love, I hate doing all those negatives, everyone would love receiving this.
And this is what the shipping boxes are made for within the kit, because that box is pretty thick, it's about that thick, so it can withhold that that nice curve so it won't get crushed.
That's nice. That's a nice detail I really appreciate. Okay, moving on to what are you going to do with the rest of the 300 and some pieces of die cuts? Here's one option, and this has become a
rocker card. And that's something that was created by using this after
the circles.
Pieces, yeah, we popped out these die cuts for something else that you'll be seeing, and then this was used as a template. So now you've got a nice little circle, an oval template for using on things. The card itself, it starts with an actual 5 by 6.5 inch card that was cut down to 5 inches.
5 inches square.
5 inches square. And then a piece of the adorable scoreable cardstock was glued to the front.
Now, we like to use the cardstock, the adorable scoreable, this way because, quite frankly, because it goes farther and you can make more things.
Right. You can make a lot more things.
Right.
So just use a regular blank card for the back. And then we don't really want to center this over this and cut it this way. It would just be way too much of a rocker. So you're just going to use it to sort of round the edges. So maybe the center line of the circle is like a couple of inches from the left corner. You just set it there just so that you're rounding that edge, and make sure that it's there, it's on the bottom, and then you just draw a line there, and you're going to do that on both sides. So just about like so, and just round those edges so that after you cut those edges off and you cut through both panels of the card, then you would have that effect.
So you just have a slight bow to it, just a slight rounding. But as you can see, when I do this, it's going to rock, but it's not going to rock off. I mean, it's just going to do a little bit of movement.
Not going to rock over.
Yeah, very appropriate with this little one. Now, you could use the new baby, or you could use anything. We, of course, dressed it up with some jewel dazzles, because, you know, that's how we are.
Even the background, I like the tiny little purple dots.
That is cute.
This also has the silver linen specialty paper.
Oh, as a mat.
Okay. And the same technique was used to round that off as well.
So that way it matches. Really, really sweet. On the inside, hip hip hooray, that's just really cute. Simply layering those. I do like the dazzles on those.
Isn't
that really adds,
it does, it just really adds pop. And I'm going to place this on top. This is one of the other ones that I'm sure was used to cut out that circle of adorable scoreable.
Perfect. Absolutely easy. So sweet. Okay, now we're going to go to this one, and this little guy, this is a Gatefold card, and wow, how cute. So a little bit of cutting was done, but before that, this was done out of this piece that was black and white. And you mentioned when we walked through these that you could color it, but here is the example of coloring it. Let me open this up. Okay.
So it's one piece of cardstock. There you go. So it's been scored and folded, and so the balloons were colored in with the Spectrum Noir pens. And so was the image here. This is the actual Color Me image that you can use. Or, you know, I think that was one of the...
It's a printed one, I think.
That was one of the die cuts. But it was colored in because they don't come in. She doesn't come in that color. Mitten doesn't. And so it's easy to color that in, just like this is one of the Color Me pieces. And you can just go ahead, and I kind of like starting with the lighter colors because you can add the darker on top afterwards. So you can just color in the entire, like for instance, I would go ahead and color in the hat, but you can see it takes it very nicely. It's not glossy, it doesn't just sort of glide all over the place. And then I would go back and add a little bit of dimension or shading by adding to the edges.
Now the Spectrum Noir pens, as you know, come in sets of 6, but they also come in sets of 24. And this is kind of what they look like when they're in a big set. So you can see all of that.
Lots to choose from.
And last a long, long time, plus they're refillable.
If you don't go out the edges like I do, it doesn't look sloppy. But anyway, it's fun.
Let's go back to this card. So as you saw, that long piece was then divided into sections. And I think this is really clever to cut around one of the balloons and let that be a holder for this circle that is overlapping. So it's like that.
Isn't it sweet?
Very, very sweet. And then on the inside, another piece of the adorable scorable.
Right.
And
the adorable scorable, which was, the entire piece was placed here on the back panel, and then another piece of the border strip was cut and placed on the top to match those stars down at the bottom.
Okay, and then this piece is just foam taped up and really sweet. We did, as you can see, because that, there we go, is we did add some of the blue jewel and the blue border.
Right.
Yeah, you can see. So that just really adds more intensity of the color and just does a really nice
and then
job.
So just colored in those balloons,
Yeah.
and that's just like a fun thing to do.
Now here's another way that you can use those die cuts, and this is pairing a couple of the different background papers, the cardstock.
Right, and then stacking up the paper towel on top, and the accent, the foil accents I love on this because it's just, look, they're tiny little dashes all on their fur along the edges. It's just seeing it broken up like that instead of this big, bold foil accent line. It's just, it makes them look furry.
It does. It really does, doesn't it? Just absolutely charming.
Just pale colors that match those backgrounds wonderfully. Wishing you a happy birthday, it says up there.
Very sweet.
And then a nice, to cover up the seams of those two cardstocks, we have silver jewel bordered dazzles.
Right, just to add more shine and so forth to it. Now, scrapbookers, here we are for you, and look what's going on. Now, to begin with, well, it's an absolutely charming page, and so she's cooking up a storm, but nice that we've got an image to coordinate. But this is the image as it appears in the kit.
So real pale image.
What happened?
So what happened is the Spectrum Noir pens, like we've been talking about, and you can take several different colors and just sort of radiate them out in the background, which I love that. So it's totally colored in. It sort of looks like a little explosion of color. And the little mitten was colored in, and some of the eggs, etc., the bowl. So that's just really sweet. Plus it matches those great dazzles that were used on this page.
These are the Mix-em cupcake dazzles. So there's 3 sheets, 3 finishes, and you can intermingle them, as you can see. So there's pink and chocolate and silver pearl.
So mix them up. You can even mix up the little sprinkles on the cupcake, which is great. There's some
borders in there.
Some pink jewel border dazzles.
And then we'll show our little cook. And so she also has a little of the die cut on her, as she's looking very proud.
Lots of fun little things, sentiments to add in there.
Yeah, and these are nice too. Thinking of scrapbooking, especially, that you've got these extra little images that are very nice borders as well.
Little embellishments that you can just stick on there. So very sweet.
And this silver linen paper was used quite often through these projects, and you can see.
You can see why it adds so well. And the edges of it, they were corner chomped here. Or you could probably even use one of these little die cuts, these little
the corners,
to make those corner cuts.
Nicely done. So we never want scrapbookers to think that they're not included in the Hunkydory sets. So just a charming set. As we said, over 321 die cuts.
Of Smudge, Mitten, and Rascal too.
Right, absolutely, darling.